Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. As always, I'm your boy Mike.
I'm Juju.
And I'm Shad.
Hey, today, guys, you're at the Smoke Room 420, also known as Mike and Shay Smoke Room, guys. Super excited to have y'all watching. We are bringing you a really intriguing react today. Let's always remember these shows are for entertainment purposes only. And I'm going to get rid of this text up here and pull up the display for you guys. Alright, here we go, guys. So today, we are tackling the intriguing case of the West Memphis Three, y'all. It is a true crime story that has captivated the nation for over 4 decades now.
Wait a minute.
3 decades. 93. Yeah, 3 decades. It's crazy. For those who may not be familiar with this case, to do a quick recap, in 1993, 3 teenage boys, Damien Echols, Jessie Misskelley Jr., and Jason Baldwin, they were convicted of the brutal murders of 3 little 8-year-old boys in West Memphis, Arkansas, y'all.
They went out to play and never come back home.
It's hell because people you don't know are looking at you like, this guy might be a child murderer.
In 1993, 3 8-year-old boys were all brutally murdered.
She was definitely a kind of off town.
Everyone here that knows.
I hate to say that being from Arkansas,
jumped to a theory that this was a satanic ritual.
Damien Echols told the church's youth minister he had a pact with the devil and he was going to hell.
Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley, known as the West Memphis Three, were sent away for the rest of their lives, despite any physical evidence whatsoever linking them to the case.
They did not kill my son.
After 18 years in prison, Damien, Jason, and Jessie were offered a plea deal that would let them walk free.
Damien Echols had been in solitary confinement on death row for 10 years.
It drove me to the absolute breaking point more than once.
By allowing the Alfred plea, they got innocence. But if they didn't do it, then who did? So I'm doing my own investigation now.
Well, the case gained a lot of media attention due to the gruesome nature of the crime and the fact that the suspects were believed to be members of the satanic cult. However, there were many inconsistencies and questionable evidence in the case, leading to the widespread public doubt about the guilt of the West Memphis Three. Fast forward to 2011, after serving 18 years in prison, the West Memphis Three were released after accepting a plea deal known as the Alfred plea. This allowed them to maintain their innocence while acknowledging that there was enough evidence to convict them.
That's what it is. They're saying there's definitely enough evidence to convict me, but I can't say I'm guilty. But they let him out for an Alfred plea. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But, I mean, in that case, a lot of people knew they shouldn't have been there. At least not by reasonable doubt. There's a lot of reasonable doubt. Well, that stepdad was enough reasonable doubt.
Now we turn to the 3 men who are free tonight for the first time in 18 years, released after serving half their lives in an Arkansas prison. The men who came to be known as the West Memphis Three have always insisted they did not commit a brutal triple murder. And now a stunning decision to let them walk out the door. Here's ABC's Jim Avila.
Here's Damien Echols.
Nearly 2 decades after they were convicted of murdering 3 Boy Scouts, hog-tied and Memphis Three walked free.
It's been an absolute living hell.
3 outcasts with mullets and dark clothing who dabbled in the occult. Damien Echols, Jessie Misskelley, and Jason Baldwin. Teenagers then, in their mid-30s today. Convicted in what many labeled a literal witch hunt, no physical evidence against them.
We were innocent, and they sent us to prison for the rest of our lives.
Damien Echols was sentenced to death, but then a long road to redemption. 3 documentaries produced by HBO, and DNA tests from hair found in the victims that did not match the jailed men. The hair belonged to someone else. The deal, the youngest of the West Memphis Three first...
That's crazy, because that dude was he was the one bent on like having justice himself and talking crazy stuff and how God was going to do this. And that dude's the one they need to be looking at. Or at least I hope they did look at him and eliminate him, because he has some off shit going on.
resisted, wanting to fight for total exoneration, until reminded that Damien Echols had been in solitary confinement on death row for 10 years and was 3 weeks from execution back in 1994.
Didn't want to take this deal in the beginning, and I recognize and acknowledge that he did do it almost entirely for me.
The prosecutor said today, despite letting these men free, the case is closed. He still believes they and they alone murdered the Boy Scouts, and he is not looking for any other suspects.
Oh, Jim, let's go.
Man, so this case has been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, I believe even a Hollywood film. But today we will take a closer look at the case through the lens of then and now, guys.
Watch your favorite TV moments live
Right after this quick break, guys.
with YouTube TV.
YouTube TV.
I'm going to show you how to make a cute, vintage-inspired wallpaper in partnership with Adobe Express.
Adobe
Let's start by
Express.
scattering our...
Reese Witherspoon, y'all.
Where's the boy?
He went out riding bikes with Michael, but I told him he better be home by 4:30.
I don't see the boy, no.
Stevie! Come on home! Y'all got anybody out there looking for my
We're
boy?
doing everything we can.
My son is 8 years old!
We have 3 boys missing from Holiday Garden.
Stevie!
A very delicate situation.
Can you hear me?
I'm in the woods by that little creek they call Devil's Den. I found something. Damien Echols, Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley will be charged in the murders of the 3 boys we found last month in the Robin Hood Woods.
Part of our investigation. We'll need hair samples from the 2 of you.
Take it. Just take it. Just take all of it. This crime is unthinkable. Where did they get it?
What if they did?
I don't know who was playing buyers.
Some residents suspect a
That,
satanic cult is responsible.
My name's Ron Lax. I'm an investigator. Did you kill any of those 3 boys? No.
Those cops are scared. They will do anything to get people to say what they want to hear.
Not acting right.
I'm not acting altered. Are you?
What the hell are you talking about?
These boys that you're helping, the police seem so certain. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes, I am.
Religion gives people who want to do evil the justification for what they do.
Did you ever find any evidence to link these murders to Damien? You don't talk to her, understand?
I have a right to hear what he says.
You're supposed to be a grieving mother. Start behaving like one.
You understand why I have to help them?
The police, the judge, everybody. This is all just some sort of game to them. Stevie.
Would you want 3 more families to lose their children too?
So the movie came out in 2014 that y'all just watched the clip to. It definitely had a little more backstory into private stuff of the families than the documentary did.
Well, then in 1993, the West Memphis Three were labeled as the prime suspects in the murders due to their outsider status. Damien Echols was known to be interested in occult, and wore all black. Jessie Misskelley Jr. had a low IQ and made a false confession.
78.
And Jason Baldwin was friends with other two boys. This coped with the fact that the police were under immense pressure to solve the case, led to their arrest. But it was.
Definitely rushed things.
I think teenagers probably have trouble ever imagining.
He said a lot of stupid shit.
Anything but immortality.
But he knew he didn't do it, you know, he's playing that part.
To believe that they're indestructible. I mean, I was the same way. I guess all teenagers are. They believe that, I guess nothing ever happened to them. But when you wake up one morning and realize that you're on death row and you're waiting there day after day for them to set you an execution date, it's a pretty hard reality check. It's I think you realize it's a pretty harsh world.
We're just about out of time, and I'm wondering if there's anything that you want to say or you want to talk about that I haven't asked you about.
Not that I can think of.
Pardon me?
Not that I can think of.
Definitely a different man than he was when he first went in.
Yeah.
You can tell he's been in a while and what it's done to him. Like, so I wonder if because they ordered those.
If you could go back to your
Since they
life,
just
would
left.
you change anything?
Like, I wonder if they get any money out of it.
I wouldn't change anything that's ever happened in my entire life.
Probably not with the Alfred plea.
Nothing. Everything that has happened in my life has came together
to
create and make me the person that I am now.
But they should get compensated.
And if any of those things were changed, then the person who I now am would not exist. I wouldn't think the same way about things. I wouldn't feel the same way about things. So there's no.
But the person that you are today is sitting on death row. I'm not changing that.
Well, I don't think there was anything I could do to change that. What was it? I mean, become a clone, give up my personality, give up my identity, just march along like everyone else. I'd rather die first.
Powerful words.
Now the conclusion.
Now, with the advancements in DNA technology and new evidence coming to light, it has become clear that the West Memphis Three were wrongfully convicted. In 2007, new DNA tests found no traces of the defendants at the crime scene, but instead pointed to another suspect, Terry Hobbs, the stepfather of one of the victims. This revelation has caused immense outrage and raises questions about the police investigation and the justice system.
Conclusion of our special investigation into the West Memphis murder case.
News for Arkansas is almost out. Back with how this famous case really changed the town of West Memphis.
Well, like everywhere in the heart of West Memphis, 10 years later, discussions continue on whether the West Memphis Three are guilty or innocent. One thing many of them can agree on, though, the notorious case forever changed the city.
In the back of their head what happened, but they don't want to talk about it.
West Memphis, Arkansas. Crossroads of two major interstates and part of a booming metro area, but still a city stinging from what many believe was a negative portrayal in two HBO documentaries.
As far as the hurt and the scar that entire case had on this community, it's important that the community move on beyond that. And the people are tired of it.
But will the people involved ever be able to move on?
If Damien had not gotten the death penalty, you and I would not be sitting here.
The West Memphis Three get worldwide attention.
Justice was not served,
And there's a killer out there that nobody is looking for and nobody seems to care about.
They took my son away from him. For nothing. Something he didn't do.
But police stand by their investigation and the conclusion.
Alright, so, back then the trial of the West Memphis Three was highly publicized and sparked controversy due to the satanic panic of the 90s. There was a lot of that in the 90s too. The prosecution used to use the boys' love for heavy metal music and dark clothing as evidence of their involvement in the satanic rituals. The defense argued that there was no physical evidence linking the boys to the crime and that the confessions were coerced.
Sums it up right there, mostly.
Definitely the devil, boys.
Now looking back, it is evident that the trial was heavily biased and lacked real evidence against the West Memphis Three. It was a case that was fueled by fear and hysteria, and the defendants were essentially convicted based on their appearance and interests. Which of course, if you wear black and you listen to metal, you're a satanic worshiper.
Then, after years of fighting for their innocence, the West Memphis Three were released from prison in 2011, but they did not receive a full exoneration. This means that while they were free, their guilty convictions were never overturned.
Alright guys, so back in 2019, after new evidence was presented, the case was officially closed, and the West Memphis Three were given a full exoneration. Nice. While this may bring some closure to the defendants, the fact remains that 18 years of their lives were taken away from them due to a flawed justice system. And not to mention the years in between 27 when they had to get out on an Alford plea till 2019 when they were exonerated. They probably still dealt with a lot of bullshit from people.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Alright guys.
I mean, you were on death row. You were accused falsely of
Damien
taking the lives
Echols,
of those 3 children.
Yes. I was arrested in 1993.
We're hanging out today with Damien Echols of the West Memphis Three.
Ended up spending 18 years and 76 days on death row. And I was accused of killing 3 8-year-old children as part of a human sacrifice in West Memphis, Arkansas. We go through this thing with the state, this is why I say, I always say the state tried to murder me, is because they knew what they were doing. They knew, even after they did the DNA testing and found that it didn't match us, I sat on death row for another 2 years while they fought to still kill me.
Jonathan Barr and his 4 co-defendants were wrongfully...
Now looking back, it is evident that the trial was heavily biased and lacked real evidence against the West Memphis Three. It was a case that was fueled by fear and hysteria, and the defendants were essentially convicted based on their appearance and interests.
Alright guys, the West Memphis Three case is a stark reminder of the flaws and biases in our justice system. Sorry y'all. It highlights the danger of rushing to judgment and the consequences of wrongful convictions. As we look back at this case and the then and now of it, we must continue to demand justice for the victims and the wrongfully convicted guys.
convicted of sexually assaulting and killing a 14-year-old girl in 1991. However, before their trial, DNA tests had already proven that none of the accused were involved. It wasn't until 2011 that all 5 were declared innocent after DNA was run through CODIS. Jane Dorodic reported her husband missing after he went for a jog and never came home. He was later discovered bludgeoned to death along the jogging path, rendering her the main suspect. She was ultimately convicted of murder based on amateur, contradictory, and what was undeniably faulty forensic evidence. She was released from prison after 19 years at the age of 75 after DNA evidence finally ruled her out as a suspect. On July 27, 1988, the bodies of 2 women and 3 children were found in a burning home on Chicago's South Side. 9 days later, Ronald Kitchen and Marvin Reeves were arrested after an imprisoned informant, Willie Williams, said Kitchen admitted to it. Unfortunately, that false info led Kitchen right into the hands of the Chicago PD, where he was tortured and coerced into a false confession, resulting in 21 years in prison. Want to see more false conviction cases? Then check out the one.
Alright guys, that's it for today's episode here at Mike and Shay's Smoke Room. That handle is at the Smoke Room 420, guys. Let us know your thoughts on this case. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. We'll see you guys next time. As always, I'm your boy Mike.
I'm Juju.
And I'm Shad.
We always appreciate y'all.
And hit that bell.
Peace.